scrap it or repair it? That's the question I'm going to try to answer in this week's video. What am I talking about? My son's Honda Civic Sport EP2 and the list of things that we need to do with this car to get it back on the road. The list is long, and this is not about cosmetic things. This is not about making the car look tidier or cleaner. It's not about performance and making it faster or handle better. This is simply what we need to do to get it to work and get it to work safely. And it's a accumulation of stuff that has occurred over the last few months has caused it now to be sat in my garage, and as we've investigated, the list of things that needs doing has just got unprecedented, and I'm going to take you through all the list of things that we've got to solve on this and answer the question, do we scrap it, trade it in, get something else, or do we repair it and get it back on the road? Welcome to Fast and Fun. So this is the problem of spares or repairs, is when cars get to a certain value, they start bottoming out, and this is probably a £1,500 car. This is where you either got to sell it as spares and repairs and get what you can for it, a few £100, or you get your tools out and you see if you can repair some of it. And that's what we've been discussing over the last couple of weeks, and I thought, you know what, make a great video, because this is reality. This is what a lot of people face on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. The list of stuff here, as I say, is quite long. We're going to start with the big one, and if you can see, there's no plugs in the car. That's because we've taken the coil pack and the plugs out to start off with. A couple of months ago, the Archie was driving the car, hose blew off, coolant dumped out, engine went into the red for a short period of time that Archie can't recall exactly how long. So he's driven it basically with no water, engines started to feel it, and he's pulled over, and the question is, what damage has he done to the head? We've had all sorts of things we've done to the car. We've done a pressure test, it's passed. Out of the back, it's not emitting any smoke at all, there's no smell. The plugs, we've just checked. Don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but the plugs are not too bad with the sunlight. You can't really see, but the plugs we've checked, they're not bad at all. So we're not convinced it's the head gasket or the head has been damaged in any way, but it was losing coolant. However, a couple of days ago, filled up the rad, and then we saw water pissing out the bottom. Clearly, there's a split somewhere in the bottom of the rad, so the rad's definitely got to be replaced. So that's definitely on the hit list of things to be done. Hence why, if you can see, I've taken off the couple of the hoses, and I'm currently working out how easy or not it is to take this rad out, because you've got the aircon condenser at the front here, and trying to see if we can squeeze it out without having to take off loads of stuff. With the engine, we were debating. At the moment, the decision, and it's a tentative one, is we're not 100% sure what's wrong, but if we smash the radiator out and get a new radiator in, and cost-wise, you're looking at non-OEM about £60. I think the OEM Honda one's about 90, so they're not expensive. We'll get a new Honda one smashed in, get it all connected up, refill the coolant, see what it's like. That could have been the reason we've just not been detecting it, because it's been a minor leak until the cracker's fully opened up in the rad and it's pissed everywhere. So I'm hoping that the coolant leak's been the rad and not somewhere inside the engine. But only time will tell. It's on these engines, it's just not worth doing any major work on them, like head gasket. Pointless, because you can pick up from the scrappy a whole engine dressed to different levels depending on what ancillaries are bolted onto it, £250 to £300. So we were, a couple of weeks ago, contemplating just buying a new engine or a donor vehicle and doing an engine change. At the moment, though, we're going to do the radiator and we're going to put it back together, and hopefully that will be the engine okay. We don't know. If it is effed, then we'll probably be looking at putting a new engine in for 250 quid. And then it's the labour and the pain of going through an engine change. And when you start doing stuff like that, then you start asking yourself, well, do I do a cam belt? And if I'm taking the engine off the gearbox, then I might as well do the clutch. But then the costs, it's 100 quid here, it's 90 quid there, it's 80 quid there. And suddenly these costs start mounting up, and then it becomes, is it financially worth it? That's the big one, the engine. So at the moment, it's just simply a £90 radiator, 15 quid of coolant, and a few hours of our work to get that done. Second one is the exhaust. Follow me. And you can see now, can you see that, Archie? Look at the exhaust. It's completely, can you see that, Archie? Sheared. We've just taken off the exhaust, and you can see where it's sheared, and we actually plan now is to go and see if we can get this welded and put back on. The problem is that any time you work on an exhaust, if it's a home mechanic, you're normally on axle stands, you've got flipping, whatever it is, 12, 18 inches to work under, and you can guarantee every nut, bolt and flipping washer under their car will be corroded and rusted. I just have fingers crossed that nothing shears when we try to get the bolts out. So that's the exhaust. Next one is we've got to jack the car up and have a look, because we've got some issues with the tyres, the wheels and the brakes. So just taking the front wheels off, or front wheel off. First of all, tyre condition. This is terrible. You look, it's actually through to the cord on the tyre. So that is so dangerous, and that's on the inside. So absolutely need new tyres. This can't go anywhere. And well, yeah, dreadful. I've also noticed that there's no spigot ring on this, and because these are not OEM wheels and they're basically not designed for the EP2, you should, I think, have spigot rings to sit in this recess to fit the relevant hub on the car, and that doesn't appear to have any. So we need to get that addressed as well. And then if you come here, Arch, look at the pads and discs. Although the pad seems to have enough wear, not too low, look at the disc. Look, can you see those lines? That is terrible. Although the disc's quite heavily lipped, it's not the lipping I'm concerned about, it's these lines in the disc, and it just shows you how bad those discs are. So disc and pad change, definitely, that we need to do. That's the list of stuff that all needs to be done, as I say, not to make it look better, not to make it perform any better, just to get it back on the road, and then it'll go straight in for its MOT, which is now due. And this is why having the ability to pick up a spanner and learn most car mechanic stuff, it's not that difficult, and there's always YouTube videos to look at and stuff like that, and forums to ask, and people are generally pretty helpful. So there we go. The journey for getting this Civic Sport EP2 back on the road starts here, starts now. Part 2 will come up in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully put everything we've talked about right and get this car back on the road. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you did, please thumbs up, subscribe, stay tuned. Speak to you next week. Thanks for watching.